So what are Power Apps? Or basically, we all must be having this idea and understanding then that applications are something which are being getting into demand, and they are being getting promoted day by day on a very huge scale. As in, post this pandemic, applications, be it's related to ordering grocery, or talking about booking an application, or maybe a cab, or when it comes to requiring something to be get delivered from one particular source to another destination. So there are a lot of applications which are available, and organizations really require these applications to support their business and their activities on a very large scale. So today we would be getting some quick insights about this Microsoft Power Apps, what exactly it is, and from where it actually has got originated. So we would be going to understand and discuss about all these things. There would be some quick, I would say, demonstrations too, which I would be going to present to you all, so that you understand exactly that from where we can start ourselves with this Power App, how can we design, what all kind of applications basically Microsoft is offering and supporting when it comes to Power Apps. Before that, let's proceed ahead and let's understand that how we are going to execute this entire 4 hours today. So this session is going to be from 4 to 8 p.m. as per the IST timing. All right. So it's a 4 hour of a session. So somewhere in between, somewhere around at 6 p.m., I would be planning for a quick tea or coffee break. All right. So there would be an announcement I would be doing, and we all would be dispersing for a quick tea, coffee break, and then coming back and continuing. All right. There would not be any long breaks. So just a small break that we would be going to get. And we would be going to understand in both the halves that how this Power App has bring revolution when it comes to designing an application, where we say people are actually not coming from the development background. All right. So before we get into, or before we deep dive into this technical aspects related to Power Applications, related to what exactly this Microsoft Power Platform is all about, so allow me this privilege where I can introduce myself. Although Cheetana has given you an idea about me, that I come with a 13 plus years of experience in terms of trainings and webinars delivery. So it's small idea about my quick, I would say, technical bio. So myself, Neha Narula, and it's been almost more than 13 years that I've been associated with this education service industry. I am a Microsoft certified trainer. I am an Oracle certified instructor also. And if you ask about my specializations, key technical skills, I basically come from a variety of, I would say, technical handling capabilities. But out of all, databases is something that is my core skill area, where I've been functional since so many years. So when it comes to databases, their management, their querying, backup recovery, performance tuning, optimization, I've been very closely working with them. When it comes to data analysis, data visualization, and other capabilities are again data insights finding. So more or less the BI functionality of data, the business intelligence functionality of data is again one of my key area where I've been delivering so many trainings. I'm a Microsoft Power BI data analyst associate also. And along with that, there are multiple Power Platform fundamentals and Power Platform components that I've been associated with. Along with delivering trainings, imparting and sharing my hands-full skills with the learners, I've been further closely working with the research development teams and with the content planning and customization teams at RPS. So it's been so many years associated with RPS, and there are a lot of clients that we have served within, I would say, the country, outside country, across the globe, through one-to-one trainings, to group batch trainings, etc. And yes, along with all these, I would say, trainings and the skill upskillment, I was always part of many of such kind of webinars where we try to share insights with the people, what is coming new in the trend in the market. So these webinars are always there, which RPS promote and support, which helps the learners to understand that what are the trending stuff available where they can upskill themselves ahead. Right. So related to the similar stuff, we were here just to give you an idea and understanding on this Microsoft Power Apps. All right. Now, when it comes to applications, or when it comes to an app, so we need to understand that basically how it is impacting the business and how it is impacting the users. So when we say businesses actually have spent a lot, and they have invested a lot of years in gathering data. Data is something that is a very important asset for an organization, because with the help of that data, we would be able to analyze, we would be able to get insights, we would be able to make predictions, we would be able to get better forecasting of what is going to happen maybe in another 6 months, or maybe in a year, or it could be more as well. So if we say that the capability of gathering the data has been, actually, if I would say, has been multiplied by 2 since the year 2016. So we understand that very few of the businesses would be able to analyze the data and make it more actionable. So whatever data that businesses gather, and that too gathered on a very high and a large scale, out of those businesses, there would be only few who would be able to make that data more actionable. They would be able to present that data in a more better way, into a more collaborative way. Because we understand it's being quite long, and specifically post this pandemic, the time that has been spent over, I would say, the PCs being getting significantly less as compared to mobile phone, or rather in a vice versa statement, if I just simply talk about, the time spent on mobile devices is significantly higher as compared to the personal computers. People's now on mobile phones spend a lot of time. They want everything to be available in the form of probably applications, so that it would be easier. So creating applications, or maybe supporting application for a specific business, when we talk about, can often proven to be time consuming and expensive, without, I would say, any question. Reason being, there are a lot of resources that we require. Now when we say that creating application is time consuming, because we we require development here. A lot of coding skills need. So you should know how to code, you should know how to compile, and there are a lot of things that we have to involve in. So it's quite time consuming. And on the other hand, we say expensive too, because there are a lot of stuff which is involved into that. We need IDEs, we need good developers, skills, etc. So there are a lot of things which are going to be there. So on the larger scale, we say that the LOB, that's nothing but the line of business. So line of business, when we talk about the people who are the decision makers, they always find it critical, investing lot of time and a lot of money in all those I would say expensive solutions or expensive applications. So definitely when we talk about the customized applications or custom apps, again it is hard to achieve some of the time, because we need to understand that the applications that we are coming up with, or maybe we are getting designed by the people, there are a lot of I would say the capabilities which are involved, or maybe there are a lot of things which are involved, like security, compliance, governance, settings, etc., etc. There are so many things which are going to be there. So when we talk about all these things, like how it is working as per the market, my time constraint, my budget constraint, a lot of complex processes, paperwork that we have to go through, how it is getting well versed with my security, compliance, and governance team, what all are the integrations this application would be able to have, and there are a lot of things that we need to take care of. So now the point is that business and organizations are struggling with all these kind of things, and people are looking forward for solutions that can help them in addressing all these kind of challenges, both from the perspective of business as well as from the perspective of technology. Now, do we really think that people who don't know coding, or who did not come from the coding background, they can't design applications, they cannot involve themselves in designing an application or application designing? So that is actually a myth these days, because these low code applications, which I'm going to introduce now to you all, they have actually filled this massive app gap, which is economical on terms of businesses also. And that too, it is economical on the side of your further verticals like compliance, governance, etc., which are in turn going to be more agile and going to provide a great consumer or customer experience. So what are actually this low code application platform, or this solution? Who has bring this solution? So Microsoft Power Platform has actually bring this solution and fill this app gap very efficiently. Now what exactly it is? So Microsoft has introduced, and they have come up with some low code, no code objectives, where we say low code or no code. No code stands for without knowing any coding, we could say capabilities. If you are not coming from a coding background, no problem. you still be able to do a lot. You still be able to explore and achieve a lot from this particular domain. And when it comes to low code stands for the citizen developers are also welcome. It is not the platform, or it's not the arena which is only for the people who are not coming from the coding background. Of course, they would going to get an add-on advantage over here, but people who know development and they further would like to explore this era, they are also welcome open-heartedly and open arms over there. So when we talk about this Microsoft Power Platform, this Microsoft Power Platform is bigger than the sum of its part because it has a lot of things available in it. So let us understand this slide a little more in detail, and then probably we'll come back here and talk about it. So that time it would become more meaningful to us. All right. So for that, what am I going to do is, let me just stop sharing my screen and let me share my screen with you. All right. And there we go. So let's understand that what all do we have in this Power Platform, and then we would be going to talk about this Power Apps a little more in detail. So when it comes to Power Platform, what exactly it is? It's a platform. It's a platform which have the power of low code, no code capability. As what exactly it is? This is low code, no code. So with the help of this low code, no code capability in Power Platform, we are able to achieve so many things. So when it comes to the capabilities, Power Platform provide us lot of components and built-in features. So when it comes to the default components, Power Platform support us with, just give me a second. All right. So as we say, it support us with a lot of components, and there are a lot of them in turn available. So we have something which is known as Power Apps. We have, these are all the internal components to Power Platform. We have Power Automate. We have Power BI. I hope you must have heard about this terminology a lot. It's actually creating a buzz these days. Then we have our Power Virtual Agents. And last but not the least, we have Power Pages. So primarily what these components are, and why do we have so many components available? Because every component is performing something or other different thing, which is going to bring more logic to our daily business or daily needs and requirements. So what they are, let's understand. Because out of all these, we would be going to focus today on the one, and that is the Power Apps we have. So what are Power Apps? Power Apps are giving us the solutions where we have to develop the applications. Applications which are gadget responsive. They can support my laptop, they can support my, I would say, the tablet, or maybe they can even support my mobile screens too. So for what functionality basically we are requiring it, that's something we can easily achieve. So depending upon the requirements, we would be able to create applications, and as I have just said, without even writing a single line of code. Now these applications can be designed as per requirement, whether you would like to serve your internal clients or whether you would like to serve your external clients. Now, whether you want to create an application or whether you want to create web pages. Earlier, Power Platform was supporting only a component known as Power Apps, which support internal and external both customers, and which support standard application and web pages or websites both. But it's being almost more than 1.5 years that Power Apps have been further classified into Power Apps and Power Pages. So when we say we have to develop and we have to design web applications or websites, then we used to talk about the Power Page Portal. And when we talk about only the application design, where the application would be supportive or responsive to my mobile screens or maybe to my tablets or other gadgets, then it will surely be the Power Apps. So they are the two capabilities or maybe the components of Power Platform that help us to design the applications as per our business needs and requirement without even writing a single line of code. That is something that we would be going to see. Now, depending upon requirements, they are classified further into canvas applications and into my model driven applications. So what are they? What is the difference? We will surely going to have an understanding about the same too very soon. Then post Power Applications, we have Power Automate. The name itself is quite self-explanatory. As in, when we have to automate our day-to-day business tasks, we can actually take a help of this Power Automate capability. Just try and understanding this thing, or maybe visualize this thing, that on the daily basis we would be getting a lot of emails in my official email ID, and some of them would be having certain attachments too. It would be really very great that all the emails that I'm getting on a daily basis, and that too though have attachments, those attachments should get automatically saved on my SharePoints as files. How great it is. Or maybe I would like to check that there are a lot of folders on my SharePoint site which are being getting older. Now the folders or the files which are 30-day old, I might be required to archive them, or probably I would like to delete them. Or maybe I would like to see if something is in there my delete area. After 10 days, it should automatically get deleted. So there are a lot of stuff in your day-to-day activity that maybe you can automate, and that can be easily achieved through Power Automate capabilities. So again, without even introducing any coding or any kind of, I would say, scripting capability, we would surely be able to achieve this thing too with the help of Power Automate. Then we have Power BI. It doesn't require any introduction, because this is something a very, very, I would say, a favorite component or a BI tool which is available as of now in the market. People are crazy about Power BI. They are actually love to explore what exactly this component, or maybe this capability of Power Platform is offering, because of which we are able to convert our raw or a standard data into a more customized and a more meaningful data. It's a software as a service component of Power Platform that is actually supporting all the data reporting and insights capability, and that too analysis too, because it's highly integrated with many AI capabilities of Microsoft. So Power BI is again a BI tool. It's a business intelligence tool which is understanding the raw data and giving it more meaning, more, we could say, the logics. Followed by that, we have Power Virtual Agents. Virtual agents are, we could say, kind of chatbots. So when it comes to designing a chatbot which can support my organization's Q&A capabilities or many other things, we can surely design a virtual chatbot. And these chatbots can work on the suggested topics, which are again incorporated by the AI functionalities and Copilot functionality. So what if I have to design a chatbot? Do I have to write some codes? I have to get into some of the programming stuff. When it comes to Power Platform, actually you don't require. So these are all the components and the capabilities which are available that an individual or maybe an organization can adopt just to find out the solution to their critical business requirements with very great ease and effectiveness. Now, all these components that we are talking about here, they are all integrated with some of the features. And what exactly those features are? Those features are the support of data. So we have data support, and that's your Dataverse. We have support of built-in AI capabilities. So we have our inbuilt AI builders, and this Microsoft Power Platform is capable enough to connect to multiple data sources. So we have trusted and verified connectors that are helping us to connect to the applications. So beat it, if I just simply talk about Power BI. So if I have to analyze my data, no matter whether my data is on Excel or might be my data is in SQL Server database, or it could be somewhere on SAP, Salesforce, SharePoint, on web, you just simply get it because we have connectors. Connectors help your Power Platform component to get connected to the external world, right? So that's the overall idea and the logic behind these connectors. So the similar kind of thing is getting showcased and explained over here on this slide, that this is one of the low code, no code platform, which is spanning across almost all the Microsoft 365 products. It has its close integration with Office 365, with Microsoft Dynamics 365, Azure, etc., which comes with a lot of powerful components like Power BI, for business analytics, Power Apps for application development, which is going to be the topic for today, Power Automate for creating workflows to bring automation in your day-to-day activities, intelligent virtual agents, chatbot support, and yes, to build websites, we have Power Pages, which are further integrated with some of the features like connectors, AI Builder, and the internal data storage, that is the Dataverse. So these are all what? These are all the components that we have available from Microsoft Power Platform. And as I have just said, we would be focusing on what? We would be focusing majorly on this Power Apps. Okay. So if you have any query question in between, please use the chat window to post your queries and questions. We'll be in between checking them and we'll be getting back to you. Okay. Any query question that we have up till here? If all good, then yes, we are good to go ahead. All great. So if you have any questions, then please do respond in the chat window. Use the chat window just to post your questions. Moving ahead. So that's exactly what we were discussing. So no code, where we have all the drag and drop experience, just like in PowerPoint. When we say low code means that it can supported with minimal coding, like your simple Excel like formulas. So there would be some Power FX formulas, some reference formulas that will help us to manage or integrate controls just to enhance their productivity and their capability. We surely have that. So the theme and the idea is this only: low code and no code. And when it comes to code first, actually all are welcome. So people though who are not coming from coding background, people who know basic codings, and along with that, people though who are professional developers or maybe citizen developers, they can also utilize this feature of Power Platform. Okay, so it has its integration with all of the components available. So as I've just said, other components have just got faded off. Our prime attention is going to be on the Power applications, on the applications, how we can design and develop them, what are different kind of applications that we have. So we would be majorly going to understand and talk about them, right? So build applications for web and mobile with Power Apps. So this is something that we were discussing, that you can design and develop the applications for your website support also, and along with that, your mobile support too. Okay, so majorly we would be focusing on the applications, like though who would be supporting on mobiles and other gadgets. Web applications are fall now under Power Pages. For that, we have different portal and capabilities. Okay, now first thing that we need to understand is that when we have to build these applications through Power Apps, do we have an application or a software or something to be installed with the help of which I can design and develop these applications? So I would say there is no application or desktop application that you have to use. It's a web portal from which you would be going to do all the things. So for that, you have to go here. Uh, Let me come here. So we have to come here, Microsoft Power Apps. There we go. And what we can do here is we can simply, so this page will help you to understand that if you want to build solutions for your organization or maybe for your business requirements, so what you can do, you can build the applications. You can start from the scratch or maybe use the suggested templates and can go ahead and design the application. All right. So it is going to solve a lot of business problems. It could be finance business problem or sales, HR, frontline workers, operations. For every business, we have a use case available. All right. So it drives or derive the real result with less code, or rather say minimal coding application. So this is primarily the portal that will actually take you to the site from where you can start developing your Power applications, designing your Power applications rather. All right. So once we go here to this sign in option, you will be going to find out a page where it asks you to sign in with your account. So that's basically my make.powerapp.com. On this platform, we will be going to do what? We will be actually going to create the applications. So there is no desktop, we could say, the applications that we have on which we would be designing. unlike my Power BI, because in case of Power BI, we have Power BI desktop. We have web support also, but we have Power BI desktop application. So that application is already installed on my system, and yes, definitely we can start working with it. But when it comes to Power App, there is no application that is required on your system that requires to be installed and you would be working with it. It's a web portal only. So this is Power Apps. Along with Power App, this application is going to have other, we could say, Power Platform applications too. As you could see, we have Power Automate. Similarly, if I go to explore all applications, there would be Power BI also, there would be Power Pages also, Power Virtual Agent also, etc. All right. So this is the area which you would be using for creating your applications. So once you go to your applications, here you would be finding out that you have the option to create. All right. Or either once you go create here also you have an option to create an application. So we'll come to this point and we'll understand more about it. Now, for beginners, if I'm not part of any organization, because definitely when we go for Power Apps, we require a license account for that. That's very important. So what is the pricing? See, so when we say Power Apps have multiple plans, as in Microsoft O365 have a lot of plans available. We have E1, E3, E5, P1, P2, lot of licenses are there. So with your E5 account, all the Power Platform application support is something that you would be going to get, whether it's Power Apps, whether it is Power Automate, etc., even your Power BI too. So if you would like to test and try the magic which this Power Apps is going to bring, you can surely go and try for free. You can start your trial account. All right. And that's going to be there for 30 days. But if you want to go for a paid subscription, then it's $20 per user per month. And that's going to give you the Power App premium capability. So once you go here, you would be able to understand what all capabilities I do have in premium and what all capabilities I do have in free. So if I go here, try for free. See. So choose what you want to do. Would you like to start building application or create an application in minute with the help of interactive tools and UI options which are available? What exactly you would like to do? So if you want to explore this component for free, this is the place for you. So you can come, you can even start your free trial. So this is building an application and this is using an application. So there are a lot of templates and applications which are available. Would you like to start using an application? Would you like to create an application? And as I just said, this trial is going to be for 30 days and that too free. So you can access or maybe you can build applications for 30 days trial period. And after that, it asks you to convert your trial to a paid account or login. Okay. So definitely, as I've said, there is a pricing, there is a license which is associated, and there is a specific Microsoft, you could say O365 license, which is required in order to work on this particular feature. Okay. Now, in my case, I'm already signed in, or I'm already within my Power App Center where I can surely create my application because I've already signed in with my administrator or maybe my global admin account, okay, which already have all the license and everything. So from where to get an understanding whether a user have the license or not, for that we have admin portal, admin.microsoft.com. So if we go there, from there we would be able to see all the license and everything for a user who is getting logged in onto my Power application. Okay. Now, whenever we will sign in into Power Platform have multiple environments. Okay. So definitely, as per our organizations or security groups, we would be able to connect to that group or maybe to that environment and perform the activities in that particular environment. Okay. So majorly, this slide is discussing and talking about the same thing, that whenever either you have to build a web or a mobile application with all the full features with low code or no code experience, so you should be having a proper I would say space and place from where you start your designing. So either you can go and try this feature for free, and that too for 30 days, or otherwise go for a paid account and you can create the application from template from scratch over here. Okay, we'll be getting into it. We will be understanding that how that canvas look like, what all kind of applications we would be able to design, etc. Okay, so this is an application which is as of now on a mobile screen I am able to see. So this is helping me or this is helping us to understand the anatomy of an application when it's appearing on the mobile. So it's a kind of a GPS tracking where I could see we have all the details, capabilities, and every information available. Through this application, of course, we can share documents, we can actually upload and access the documents also. Integration, my Power App can be integrated to my Power BI, maybe with the help of whatever data that we are using or whatever application usage I have. Might be I require a dashboard, or I require a usage summary report for that. So there can be direct integration with the other Power Platform components also, which are there. Okay. So the main, I would say, the best outcome or the benefit that we have from Power Apps is it's this designing experience. It's basically designing experience, and that's basically what that's help us in understanding that when you design an application, what you see is what you get. So while designing an application from the UI portal, whatever I am able to see, that the control is here, the next button is here, the form would be opening up here. So whatever we would be going to see is exactly what we are going to get when we are going to do what, when we would be going to publish this particular application. So when we are going to publish this application, exactly all the things we would be going to get out there. Okay. So that's a kind of concept that we have. It's more or like of PowerPoint pixel perfect view. So we would be going, once the app is running, once the preview would be live, it would be exactly looking the same the way it is looking at the development or designing part. All right. So data connectivity. We have connectivity from a lot of data sources, built-in data sources also, and outside or outsourced data sources also. So built-in data platform, and yes, of course, with the help of all the inbuilt AI capabilities, we can leverage their expertise and can add more logic to our application. Okay, so we'll see in upcoming practical how to design a quick application, and if we have to design an application that is integrated with the data, or might be that application is being derived from a template, etc. So we'll see that thing. So when we say the applications are broadly divided. The Power applications are broadly divided into two categories. One category is canvas applications. The other category is the model driven applications. So we have these two broad category of we would say the applications which are available. Okay, there are a lot of differences between them. So definitely you should bring this idea that when one should go for this canvas application and when one should go for this model driven application, what's the difference between them. But the overall logic would be similar. The overall logic would be, we would be connecting to data, creating the applications, forms, and the views without writing codes. That's the main thing we need to understand over here. And finally, once we would be going to use these applications, they can be used on any devices, be it on the web or might be on mobile or any of the other responsive gadgets. So they are all supportive, whether it's the model driven application or whether it's the canvas application. Okay, just excuse me for a quick 1 minute and let me have some water, please. All right, I'm there back. So this is talking about the applications for the web and mobile. So there are a lot of capabilities. There are a lot of capabilities which are available here, and it is helping us in understanding many of the things which are available. So if I just go one more time back to the slide. So when it comes to designing an application for the mobile, as you could see, there are a lot of features connecting to lots of data sources, a lot of capabilities like push notification, etc. And yes, in turn, the intelligence usage with the help of the AI features. that is supporting the natural language processing also, right? But this is something that I was discussing, that broadly we have two kind of application support. One is the canvas application and another one is the model driven application. Now to get more understanding and more difference between them, let's have a quick I would say understanding on what exactly is the difference between a standard canvas application and a model driven application. What broad two kind of apps is something that we would be able to design through Microsoft Power Apps. All right, screen, that what exactly is the difference between canvas and model driven applications. So let's have a quick understanding, and then we would be getting into a quick overview of this particular portal of my, where it is, that's my Power Apps, and how can I design a quick application. Maybe I can just try showing you. All right. So let's see, let's go and understand. So first let's understand the difference between the two kind of applications, or maybe the category of applications that I do have. So maybe for that, let's just talk about first what exactly we have in Canvas applications. What all do we have in Canvas applications? So when it comes to Canvas applications are something which are giving a user a 100% control on the UI. That means you have this capability of what you see exactly is what you would be going to get in the outcome. Okay. So here, whatever you would be designing and whatever is going to be presented to the end user, it's exactly the same. So 100% control on UI means you have here capability of bringing changes to the look and feel, features, automation, and there are a lot of things which are available. Now, coming next, this is purely for internal users and stakeholders who are part of my organization. That's only for the internal users usage only. Then when I talk about the Canvas application, there are three broad category of Canvas applications that you can design. When it comes to the designing, there are basically three ways in which it can be created. Now, when it comes to those three ways, you either can create it through scratch or blank. Maybe it could be a possibility I would be creating a Canvas application, and that Canvas application is being getting created through a lot of template support, or it could be a possibility that we are creating the Canvas application through either internal or external data sources. All right. Another important thing is that the Canvas application supports two formats. They come under two formats. Either it could be supportive on mobiles, or it could be supportive on the tablets. Okay. So either it could be mobile responsive or either it could be the tablet responsive application that you can design. And it comes with a lot of FX functionality, controls, etc. On the other hand, when we have to do a comparison between the Canvas application and the other one that we have is the model driven application. So let's understand what all do we have in model driven application. So in case of model driven application, first thing that we have in comparison, we have 0% control on UI. Whatever is the structure, you have to go by that. You can't modify its look and feel, its capabilities, etc. The common thing in the Canvas and the model driven application is this is also for the internal users. Okay. However, when we talk about the model driven applications, the model driven application is supported, or you can create in two ways. What are those ways? Those ways are, one is blank, and that is only through internal data source. And the other one that we have is what? The other one that we have is templates. You cannot create a model driven application through external data sources. Only internal data sources will going to work. And last but not the least, that this is going to be it's going to be responsive to all the all the gadgets. So it's going to be responsive to all the kind of gadgets that we have. So there is no separate mobile format or separate tablet format that we have in case of model driven applications. It's totally going to be available for all the gadgets which are there. So the way we design them is little different as compared to when we talk about the canvas applications. So I'll show you a few examples. Maybe we'll figure it out how it's going to work as per today's agenda that we have. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's talk about these canvas applications. So I'll come to my Power App pages and I'll show you exactly where we can design them. So as you could see, either you can create an application from blank. Blank means from scratch. It could be from your data sources, like it could be a Dataverse, it could be SharePoint, it could be Excel. Now, when we talk about something known as Dataverse would be the internal data source. That means using this data source, both canvas application and model driven application can be prepared. However, if I talk about data sources like my SharePoint, Excel, SQL, if I have to use these data sources and maybe I have to create an application, then that application can be only canvas application, because my model driven applications cannot get supported by the external data sources. All right. Or other than blank and data sources, we have options of templates also. And in templates, you would be able to see that it will give you an idea that which app it is. So whether it is a model driven application, whether it is a canvas application, if it is canvas application, is going to show you both the options. Are you going to use or create this application for phone, that is for mobile, or whether you are planning to prepare it for a tablet? But when it is your model driven application, as such, nothing it is going to ask you. All right. So let's see. Maybe if I go and check, probably I have a cost estimator. This is a canvas application. So if I come here to this canvas application, I could see that it is supported for phone only. The preview is a phone screen kind of thing. However, if I can pick any other application like a asset checkout application, so you could see this asset checkout application can be designed for two kind of formats. By default, it's a tablet view. If you could see, if I select the phone, this is going to be the phone view. So screen size will definitely going to be matter and changed. So it's your wish whether you want to design it for tablet or whether you want to design it for phone. But in case of my model driven application, like this is asset checkout, this is innovation challenge, this is fundraise, and there would be a lot of more that you would be going to see over here. So if you go a little up, there would be more templates. Okay, you will be finding more templates. Now, if I get into this asset checkout model driven application, see here you will never get an option that will say whether you want to create a model driven application that supports a phone screen or maybe that supports a tablet for you. So it is responsive to all kind of gadgets. That's something you need to understand. All right. So now maybe if I go and probably check this budget tracker application. So for what purpose? Would you like to create for a tablet or for a phone? Let's go for a tablet. And maybe I would say this is my budget tracker sample app. All right. Let me create it. And it is getting the things ready for me because I have just chosen a template from where I'm just creating this application. All right. So if you want to integrate this application with your data source, then of course, first step should be your data source preparation. You should prepare your data source. And then for that data source, from that particular data source, you would be getting the data in the application also. Okay. So it's getting the things ready because it's a template. So meanwhile, it is keeping the things ready. What I am going to do now is maybe I can open up another tab where I can, let me say, explore all applications. And I would be very quickly checking for my, so here you could see Power Pages is there, Power BI is also there. Let me go for Power Apps. There it is. So meanwhile, my template is getting readied for me. I'll be just coming up here and doing So see, it's giving me the option to check for templates. Let me get into my another environment, Contoso environment, my organization environment. This is one of the dummy ID that we have. Let me cancel it. Let me go to this create application and let me show you. Along with this, let me show you the app preparation from a blank perspective too. So see, what would you like to create? Would you like to create, once you go into blank area, it will give you an option. Would you like to create a blank canvas application? Whether it's going to be a blank application which is based on an internal data source, that is my model driven, or whether it is going to be website. So when it is website, it's nothing but it's Power Pages. Okay. So for that, it will redirect me to the Power Page portal. Okay. So this is a separate entity now in the Power Platform. So let me show you one example of this Canvas application. So let me create, let me say whether you would be choosing for a tablet or phone. So let me choose a phone format. Let me say it's going to be a sample sample calculator. That's what I'm planning to prepare. So again, it is getting the things ready for me. And here comes the Power App Studio, the area where we would be designing, where we have a lot of drag and drop and UI capabilities which are available. So let me skip it as of now. All right. Meanwhile, I could see my template is still loading. So let's invest time on this first, where we would be creating an application from scratch very quickly. And then we'll get to know about that too. So now this is my first screen. As you could see, this is screen. You can add screens, a blank or maybe lot of templates also. So let me say, this is my first screen and my first screen says, so let's come to the screen. I would be changing my screen background and post that on this screen, I would be inserting some components. All right. So maybe I'll just come to a label and I would be putting up a label here, and that in that particular label, I would be saying that this is a simple calculator. Okay. So its look and feel is something that I would be able to change from here, from the properties. So I'll just bring it to the center and make it a little bold. Increase the font size also, maybe a little more. And all right, simple calculator. Now, what I want that this calculator should accept inputs. So this would be first input and one more text input. This should be second input. And there should be a button which I want in this application. Now I want whatever text input this application is going to accept. And when I press that button, I should be able to see the result on the second screen. So this is my, let's say, main screen. I'll rename it. This is my main screen or input screen. And what I want, I would like to add another screen, and that should be a kind of this screen, success screen. And I'm going to name it as what? I'm going to name it as my result screen. Okay. Now I would be doing what? A similar kind of format I'm applying. And let me say this button. So let's choose this one. And instead of this was successfully completed, maybe I would say here, or probably if you don't want, you can delete this too. And might be here, what I could have is can have another text input where we would be getting the solution. This is something I can do. Okay. So now what is the requirement? The requirement is this, that from the main screen, we would be accepting the input. Let's come to this button also. Let's just change it to this one. Be to this one, that's fine. All set. So I said that I should be accepting some input from here, and once the input would be accepted, when I click this button, it should take me to the result screen where I could see the output available here. And might be on the top, I probably can have what? Let's say an icon. Maybe a back icon or something. Yeah, it's a back arrow. Perfect. So I can add a back arrow here. That should take me back to my, one more time to my back page. So this is fill. Let's not fill. All right. All set. So let's see how to work on this. First thing is navigation. So let's come to the main screen and let's see the preview of this application. Just like we create a PowerPoint and we say F5 and it starts showing me the slideshow. Similarly, let's preview this. So in the preview, can you see? This is what you see is what you get. Whatever you were able to see in the designing, whatever you are designing is something. When I close that was something I was designing. And when I see the preview, it's exactly similar. So you have 100% control on UI. Now, if I come to this button, as of now, it's not doing anything because there is no action which is done. So what we want is, we want that when we come to this button, we go to the properties and we say, there is no action. So I want the action should be that this button help us to navigate. These are all the functions which are available. So where it should take me? It should take me to the result screen. There we go. One more time. Let's go and preview. So now when I click the button, I am coming to the next page, my result page. Okay. And I want, when I click this, it should take me back. So again, go back beyond this button and say, I would like to go back from where I have originated. So back is a function. All set. Let's go one more time. And it's working. The navigation is working in your application. So when you say button, it's come here. When you come here, it's come here. It's working as per your requirement. So maybe for this button, it should not be button. I say it should show me something like submit. Now, this text box is receiving text input. It should not receive a text input. It should receive a number. Similarly, this one, it should receive a number. So what should be the hint? As of now, if I would like to say hint text, maybe I could say here, enter number 1. That is what I would like to see, hint. Similarly, here I would like to see a hint that is enter number 2. And then after I want on the result, here also the output should be a number. So let me just try. Probably I'll just do one thing. I'll preview. I say I'm adding a number 10 and I'm adding a number 20 over here. And when I say submit, nothing is happening because we set up the navigation, but the calculation is still missing. So what I want to do is on my result screen, when I come here, what I want on the screen, I want that this screen should take up a value, which is my seen this before. Just give me a quick 1 minute. So what we want here is for this control, my text input 1 needs to be multiplied with my, why this formula is not automatically getting popped up. Let me just check. Let me do one more time. Let me just delete it. Insert a no, that was a label actually. I would have to insert the text input. So we come here and this should be a number. Now on the properties, I don't need anything. On the properties, what I want. So I want, just give me one quick minute. Okay. So here we want what? Here we want simply its data type has been number. Why it is showing text over here? It's number. So we need it It's auto popped up. Says equal to text input 1 getting multiplied with the text input 2. So that's primarily what we want, but as I could see, there is an issue because there is a problem available here. Let me just check. So what I want is, as you could see, when you would be designing the application, you will have an app checker also that will show you what exactly the problem with your application that you have. Okay, so I'll come here. We need text input 1.text. And that is getting multiplied with the text input. So from past few times, why it's not working, that's, so we want text. Again, it's, no, this formula is not going to work. Not sure why. Let me go and check. Error. If I come back here, review, say submit, it's coming over here. It's going here, but it's not just showing me the calculation. I basically want that these two numbers should get multiplied and the result should appear here. But as we could see, there is an issue with this quick formula. This is not taking the response. Not sure why it's working like this. Maybe I can just check probably, and let me go back, figure it out. My template is still not working, so I could do one thing. Can come back to another account of mine where I can go to create and can pick up a quick template from here and then see what exactly it is. So again, budget tracker for tablet, budget tracker, maybe 1, 2, 3 I can keep. Let's get into create. And let's find that this time it should load. So let's come to the home. One more time, I'll say create, and this time probably I can just check any other one. Let's see, do we have any data available over here? No. So might be I can go for this asset checkout. Let's see, I have tried opening. Okay, this time it worked. So see, this is a budget tracker. Now, this application is not integrated to any data source. So as I could see, we have a budget screen available here. We have a new budget screen. So if I have to add a new budget, I can add a new budget from this screen. Once I'll get into play mode, I would be able to see. So this is a back control, which is some taking us back to some or the other screen. Then we have delete, budget, add expense. From here, I can add an expense. So let's see, let's figure it out how it's going to work. So I would be going to see a play preview. So let me say it is asking me to add a new budget from here. So when I say add a new budget, this is the budget adding screen, correct? So maybe I'll add a budget here, my holiday budget, and the budget amount is 25,000. So it would be added as a budget here at the bottom. So I have a budget holiday which have 0 spend and 25,000 remaining. Similarly, 1 week show, Litware team event. These are all different budgets that we have. Now in this budget, I would be going to add an expense. See, this is expense adding screen. That was something we were able to see. So maybe my expense name is food. Expense amount is 200. So as I could see, the category is food. So I'll just save. So it would be added as one of the component of my budget. So I could see spend is 200 and this is remaining. So some calculations would be happening. Okay. So this is basically showing us all the screens. So you can go to screens, you can bring changes. Once you would be deleting any budget. So if I go back one more time, let's say I'll be previewing this application. Now this holiday budget I don't need. So if I will be deleting, this is that screen which was appearing. No, would you like to delete this budget, delete or cancel? So all these screens have been designed here in the Power App Studio. So all the screens are working. This is delete expense. This is for delete budget. So this is for budget. This is for expense. They are all templates. So there are a lot of templates which are available. You can use those templates. Okay. And if you want, you can bring more changes to those templates as per your system requirements and they would work as per your functionality. Okay. So we have options of creating the applications from templates. We have options of, as I've said, creating the applications from the data also, the internal data. So as of now, there is no internal data available on this environment of mine. Otherwise, we can go and we can start creating an application through the data also. We can add tables and see the information. Okay. So meanwhile, before we conclude, let me one more time check that quick app of mine. Let's see if it should work. There is some or the other. Okay. Okay. Something is coming here. Let me just figure it out. What is happening? So let me go back here. Ah, it's working now. Perfect. So maybe if I come to the main screen, here I give a number 100 and probably I'll come to result screen. Oops, it's working. So let's see. Let's come back here. Let us go to a play mode. So what was exactly the formula? If I just quickly show you, we want that whatever input we are getting from the text input 2 or maybe from text input 1, that is getting multiplied with the text input 2. As you could see, there is a multiplication happening. So on the basis of that multiplication, here we would be getting the calculation. Okay. So let's see, there was that formula related issue which was there. So maybe I just add a number here, 120. So it's the result that we would be expecting. It should be 2000. So the number is getting multiply and I am getting the response over here. All right. The moment I'll press back, it will take me back to my page. So similarly, what you can do, you can add more logic. You can add more screens, more navigation. If on a specific screen, you would like to add any gallery. So let's say I would like to add a gallery or maybe any icon, any image. Maybe I'll go and say on this page, I want to add a image. Not sure if I have any image available with me, but of course. Okay. Let's go here, resources. There I have some small images. So maybe I could add this chart. So see, it will start appearing as a image over here. So you can add an image also. If you want, you can add a video also. You would be going to find out again, insert under media. There would be an option of video too. So you can add a video that is playing probably on your application on the main page. So that's basically the way through which you would be able to design your application. These are just the introductory, I would say, steps which are introducing you. But the overall idea is what we were able to see is that in the Canvas application, the user would experience that whatever they would be viewing at the time of designing is exactly what they would be getting when that is going to be preview or presented to the end user. Now, on the other hand, when we talk about the kind of applications that we would be designing in all the application, be it the application that we have picked from blank or maybe from a template, here we are not writing any single line of code. All the drag and drop facility, all the property related facility, or maybe some PowerX functions that we are using, only with the help of them, we would be able to design the application. We are actually not involving any kind of coding. Of course, we have some PowerFX formulas that we discuss in the higher level of Canvas applications designing, but as you could see, it's low code or rather no code. Without writing a code, you're able to design the things for you. And that is happening from where? That is happening from this Power App portal. And in this Power App portal, we have what? We have this Power App Studio. So this Power App Studio helping us in designing applications from scratch, from data, from templates. And these are all the small components that we have seen. We have navigators, we have ribbons, attachments, a lot of sections, elements that you can add in your applications. See? So these are all Power App Studios. We have property window, we have UI window. So that's something appearing here. So we have all this navigator here. This is here. If I just choose any component, the property window will appear here. This is again a control window, which is appearing on the top. From this, you would be able to check the health of your application. I'm so sorry. From here, you would be able to check the health of your application. This is the app checker. Any error, anytime come, it will show you the red signal. This is play preview option. And finally, what you can do, you can save your application. Or from here, you would be able to publish your application and prepare versions for your application. Let's say I create some part of application, I save it as version 1. Then again, I save it another version 2, another version 3. And on saving version 3, after that, I said, no, the version 2 was little better. So maybe I can go back to my version 2. So version capability, flashback, and transaction capability is also there in the Power App Studio. All right. So this is a basic introduction to what we have in this leap into Power Apps from Microsoft Power Platform. So as I've already announced, this session is supposed to run till 8, but due to less participation, we are concluding this session. I guess in half time itself. So we would be expecting that the next time when we'll come across to you all.